Think about it, there's certain movies that end in a way that leaves ambiguity, where there are questions left unanswered. In a way, I talked about this in a video where I discussed movies that have an unreliable narrator. So I mentioned that in the case of Joker, the ending leaves ambiguity because we're not sure how much of what we saw is real versus how much of it is in Arthur's head, because he has mental illnesses and so he's an unreliable narrator. Aside from Joker, Inception is a famous example. So that movie ends with the main character Cobb being reunited with his family. Throughout the movie, they set up this rule that there are these totems, these items that help you to realize when you're dreaming and when you're not. It's established that if a totem flips on its side, then you're actually awake. In the case of Inception, that movie ends with Cobb reuniting with his family. We see the little item, but the movie does not show it tipping over. It zooms in on this item. It doesn't make it clear what exactly is going on. So we're left to question, did Cobb actually make it back to his family or didn't he? How much of what we saw was happening in reality versus how much of this was just a dream? Also, think about the movie Pulp Fiction. That movie ends with a briefcase and we don't see what's inside it, and thus there's ambiguity there. Also, if we look beyond movies for a second, the book Giver from Lois Lowry is a great example of this. That book ends in a way that makes you question, did Jonas actually make it to some other community, or is he hallucinating all this while him and the baby Gabe are freezing to death? The movie version of The Giver, by contrast, takes out the ambiguity because we flat out directly see what actually happened there. I mean, we flat out see memories return to the community, whereas in the book version of The Giver, we're left to question, did the memories actually return to the community? And also, how did the people react when this happened? Obviously, that would be huge for them, just massive. It would change their life completely. Whereas the movie actually shows you the people reacting to getting the memories back. Admittedly, yeah, in the movie version of The Giver, we're not sure if Jonas really made it to a different community because we see him just going up to a house. So there's still some ambiguity there, actually. We're not exactly sure what's going on, but less ambiguity than the book version of the story. Also, actually, when I think about the 2004 version of Phantom of the Opera, I mean, that movie ends with the Phantom going behind this mirror, and then we don't see what happens to him. Does he live? If so, where does he go? Did he die at some point? The way the final shot plays out with old Raoul going up to Christine's grave, and then we see the rose on it, that, I would say, implies that the Phantom actually did live, but we don't exactly know, so there's ambiguity there.